Be a really short video. I watched another Tab Hunter movie because there's a bunch available right now on Watch TCM, and he's a beefcake, so I'm catching up on my Tab Hunter. Um, what was I saying? Oh, so this was William A. Wellman's final film. It's called Lafayette Escadrille. I can't pronounce it. And it's French. I should be able to pronounce this shit. I'm having the worst time pronouncing anything anymore. But anyways, Lafayette Escadrille, starring Tab Hunter and Etchika Choureau. She mostly speaks French in this film, which is interesting. It's sort of the point is their inability to communicate at the beginning. And in watching the documentary the other day, they had an interview with her and him talking about her and how if he had ever thought of trying to maybe like be straight, like basically go against the grain and go against his own feelings and go against everything, it would have been for her because he felt so much for her, even if he didn't, even if he wasn't attracted to her sexually. And it's sort of a great little moment in the documentary, and you can see this chemistry they have in this film. It's based on Wellman's actual time during World War I. He went to France and joined the Foreign Legion and was not in the Lafayette Escadrille. I'm just going to say Escadrille because I'm American. But he did fly for the French during the war before the U.S. was in the war, and he based bits of this on his own friend. And his son, William Wellman Jr., plays a version of him in the film. There's also a really early moment, supporting role with Clint Eastwood. So the plot is that Tab Hunter is this, like, kid who's really well off, but a bit of a punk, and you gather that he's kind of a punk because his dad beats him, and the more that he rebels against his dad, the more his dad beats him, which is really kind of dark, and they don't really delve into that very much. And then so he goes to France after getting into some serious trouble and getting a really serious beating from his dad. And the psychological reparations of that makes it hard for him to follow orders as a soldier. And so when, not follow orders, but when being berated, he doesn't react well. And so he accidentally for once in his life, reacts to someone talking down on him or someone hitting him and hits the guy back, but you're not really supposed to hit an officer. So this causes trouble, and he has to go into hiding. At which time, his lady friend hides him. And the war parts weren't all that interesting. The romance parts I thought were really great. And it's kind of a bummer thinking that, Wellman did Wings, and Wings is such a beautiful film, but it was, during the crazy days where they actually did, like, all these crazy aerial effects and everything for real. And then you have this, and you can see, like, the green screen, and you can see, the rear projection, and you can see when they're using, like, stock footage and stuff. And this is sort of, when you think of the great films Wellman has done and then realize that was his last film, it's just kind of a bummer. Especially considering he lived for another, like, 20 some odd years, or 17 years after this, but maybe he knew he couldn't make films the way he used to anymore, so he stopped. I'm not sure. Anyways, you can still watch this on TCM, the TCM app if you have that, and it's definitely worth it if you're a Wellman completist. It's worth it if you enjoy Tab Hunter, but if you just want, like, a good war film, it's not really a good war film. And there's not enough romance to justify it as a romance either. So it's kind of a wish it had picked one or the other and stuck with it kind of movie. So from 1958, this is Lafayette Escadrille. Mariah continues to butcher languages that she knows how to speak.